Have you ever wondered, why do I feel so irritated all day? This is something so common that I have dealt with personally, and I see a lot of women that maybe they're not overtly saying, gosh, I get really irritated, but I can definitely see it, right? That mom that's just every little thing their kids do or their husband does, it just sets them over the edge. And this oftentimes gets blamed on all the circumstances around us, right? But the sheer fact of the matter is our circumstances really shouldn't dictate if we are irritated, especially every single day, even by the little things. That is a sign of a deeper rooted issue that I want to discuss with you today. So if you are somebody that finds themselves feeling really agitated or irritated about every little thing that your kids or a coworker or your husband does, stick around, because I want you to understand what's going on in your body and then how you can take steps to fix this issue. Okay, so I first want to address the fact that there could definitely be some emotional, deeper rooted issues, and there probably are, that are playing into this, but I want to dig into some of the physical things that might be going on that really are more of the root of your irritability, because we all have different, things going on in our life that maybe are sometimes just a lot, right? We have a lot of balls in the air per se, but we really should not have this hairline trigger every single day. And by hairline trigger, I mean like any little thing pushes us over the edge. And so I want to talk about two specific sort of issues in the body, imbalances, if you will, that really make a huge difference when you think about irritability and other things that might be going on. So first off, mineral imbalance. And minerals are super important overall in your body because they are what are kicking off all of the reactions that happen, that take place. Enzymes start processes in the body, but minerals fuel those enzymes. And so when we start to see deficiencies and imbalances, we see these processes start to be altered. And it's really very common for our minerals to be off, especially as women, because we are very sensitive to stress, and stress causes imbalances in our minerals very quickly. They get used up really quickly, especially when we are under stress. So that's the first area, but I really want to hone in on the second area, and that is metabolism. So metabolism may be something, obviously you've heard of metabolism, but you've probably thought like, oh, I need to increase my metabolism so I can lose weight or so I can maintain a healthy weight. Or you might have, thought of metabolism in a way that it's higher whenever you're younger and it gets slower and slower with age, and you're kind of just doomed. As you age, you're either going to have to eat less or work out more to improve your metabolism or to keep it going. But the metabolism, at a kind of a basic definition, it's the sum of every single cell processes in our body. Things like digestive, immune, detox, our menstrual cycle, thyroid, stress hormones, the ability to grow strong, healthy hair and nails. Like, it's really more so than just like a weight loss tool that we've kind of, condensed it down to. It's really our greatest tool for assessing our overall health. And it's really the overarching root here, I believe, of most of the time when we just feel irritable all the time. It's because our metabolism is not in balance. And so oftentimes when we're on this health journey and we have these different symptoms, which irritability might not be one that you would relate to your physical health, so I hope this helps you understand that. But even things like, we can't lose weight or we feel tired all the time, those different things. Oftentimes we get trapped in spheres of health, like hormone or thyroid or gut health or autoimmune issues. But wellness really can't be reduced to targeting just one area of health. And sometimes, it gets reduced down to that, and then we just kind of stay stuck in these areas and don't really ever address the real root cause. And so we get frustrated, and sometimes we resign to the fact that, gosh, I guess I'm just going to deal with this. This is just an issue that I'm just meant to deal with, and you just find ways to adjust your lifestyle to it. But sometimes these symptoms need to be part of our healing, and we don't need to put Band-Aids on them. We really need to seek to see what they are trying to tell us and why they're trying to tell us that. So symptoms of an metabolism imbalance, obviously we're talking about irritability here. That's one of them. Here are some others. Infertility, low libido, waking up during the night or inability to fall asleep at night, or both. Excessive thirst and urination. That's also something that can be linked to mineral imbalance. Mineral and metabolism are very closely related. Not having regular bowel movements. That could be like diarrhea, that could be constipation. You're not having those regular bowel movements that are formed, that are what they should be. You're not a morning person. And this might be something that, you just kind of resign to the fact that you're not a morning person, but that really is a symptom of metabolism imbalance. You're sensitive to stress, as we mentioned, just having that irritability, but you get really overwhelmed really easily. PMS symptoms, cold hands and feet, or just a low body temperature overall, low pulse, fatigue, thin lips, thin eyebrows. Those can all be or are all symptoms of metabolism imbalance. And so when our metabolism is off, it really has effects of stress on our body. And there are, places that we can focus on that will help improve our metabolism, but really when we get the whole big picture of, wow, this is all connected and it really is part of a bigger picture. And that's really what I love to do, is help people see the bigger picture. So, we just talked about symptoms of imbalanced metabolism. So let's talk about what a thriving metabolism would look like, and then also how you can take steps to start prioritizing this. So obviously we're talking about irritability here. So you don't have as much of a sensitivity to the things people do around you. And that just means that maybe you have more patience, and maybe you just have a slower pace to you. Sometimes irritability can really manifest into, I just need to be busy all the time. That starts to get better. Your body is more warm, right? Your extremities don't get cold as easily. Your pulse is strong. Your hair is strong. Your nails are strong. You're just content more. Like you have a calmer stress response. You don't get overwhelmed as easily. If you're in that season of your life, you're fertile. You have a healthy libido. This is a really big one that I see a lot as well. Could be a whole nother video, and probably will be. You wake up easily in the morning. It doesn't take you an hour just to get going. You have energy throughout the day. You have 1 to 3 solid regular bowel movements throughout the day, every day. Sleeping through the night is another big one. Keeping your weight at a healthy place without some crazy diet or exercise routine. You have very little hormonal symptoms around your cycle, or maybe if you're past that, the typical menopausal symptoms, you don't have any of those, or limited versions of those, let's say. And then, anxiety and depression can also be linked to this. So those aren't present. So now that you can kind of see, okay, well, this really might be a mineral or metabolism issue, what can we do to start moving in the right direction in those two areas? So first, let's start off, we're already talking about metabolism. Let's start there. So number one, eating breakfast within 30 minutes of waking. And this is something that I often get a lot of questions about as well, is what are your thoughts on fasting, Kari? And I think that fasting is not an inherently bad thing, but whenever our body is already under stress, it just perpetuates that. And it can cause a lot of these issues to be way worse. So for somebody that is in a healing journey, I'm not a big fan of it, because it just prolongs or even can backfire in that area. And so I could strongly consider looking more into this if you are currently intermittent fasting, and are not eating within 30 minutes to 60 minutes of waking. You could be like, I'm not hungry in the morning, Kari. This is a sign of a slow metabolism or metabolism imbalance. And so just start with eating a healthy protein, fat, and carbohydrate within 30 to 60 minutes of waking. Even if per se you're not necessarily hungry, I think that you will see over time, you will start to wake up hungry, which is a good sign of a strong metabolism or metabolism imbalance. Another thing is exercise smarter, not harder. So exercise done too intensely is or not supportive of our female cycle can do more harm than good. And so hardcore cardio is really one of the best ways to slow down your metabolism. So we're trying to increase it, right? We're trying to get it back in balance. So instead, focus on strength training. About 20 to 30 minutes is a good range, 2 to 3 times a week. And again, those you that are watching here, I don't know your specific, health journey and where you're at in it. Sometimes we need to really just focus on walking and that kind of movement while we're really in deep healing. And then we can start incorporating more exercise, which I would recommend strength training when you do and you feel like you are ready for that. And lastly, on metabolism is prioritize saturated fats over PUFAs or polyunsaturated fats. And this is another one that could be a whole separate video and might be, but a lot of us are eating a ton of nut and seeds, and then seed oils as well. They're in a lot of processed food. We go out to eat, we can pretty much guarantee that we're getting those type of oils. And then we just, eat a lot of nuts, nut butters, seeds, different things like that. And I'm not saying those things are all bad, but just look and see how many things that you're eating that have these things in them. So eat less canola, soybean, vegetable oils, and eat more butter, coconut oil, and ghee. That you cook with or bake with or whatnot. That would be a good way to kind of move in the right direction of starting to heal your metabolism. And then lastly, for minerals, if we're looking to balance minerals and we don't really know where we are, we haven't gotten a hair test and we don't necessarily know where our specific markers are, here's some good rules of thumb that you could start doing. Just simply eating real food. I know I might sound like a broken record if you've watched some of my videos before, but eating real food, it has a lot of whole food vitamins and minerals that are much, much better absorbed in our body and will, and as we sort of focus on that and less of the processed foods, those things like PUFAs are not going to be as prevalent in our diet, which is going to help with both of these things. Another thing that we can do is just begin using real sea salt. Maybe you're just using table salt. Just switching over to using a sea salt to salt your food. Maybe you can put a pinch in your water would be a really great way to start to balance those sodium levels, which then again can help with others. Because here's the thing. We have 4 main minerals, which are magnesium, calcium, sodium, potassium. And when those are out of balance, it causes all the others to be out of balance. And so if we can start balancing those, that's what I want to encourage you to do here today, not knowing any of your background. And so seasoning with real sea salt will help. I love to use something called bumbleroot. It is a powder that you mix in water and it has a great source of potassium and some calcium and a little bit of sodium. And it'll get you kind of back on the right track or headed in the right direction with these 4 main minerals. So I hope this was helpful in just getting to the root cause of why do you feel so irritated every day? Because I know sometimes we try so hard not to be irritated. And as a Christian, you might pray about it, which is something that you should always do, of course, but you have to realize that your body is literally fighting against that. And so if you can help your body out, right, and continue to pray, continue to seek the word and guidance in that aspect, I think that you're going to see a big difference overall. So if you love this video, let me know in the comments below. Click the thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel because I have videos very similar to this that answer a question that I see a lot or address a certain issue or whatnot that I premiere on this channel every single week on Wednesday. So make sure to subscribe so you get notifications of that. And I love giving these short little bits of information, but what I really love is the bi-weekly webinar that I do on Thursdays. And that gives you, it's more time, so I get to give you a better overall view of what's really going on in your health. And kind of, there's so many opinions out there. I give you one thing to filter all those opinions through so you can finally get your health back. So I'm going to put in the description of this video the link to register for the next live webinar that I have. And as always, I love to show up on Instagram. So go and follow me over there, and I would love to connect with you and just start a conversation around this. I'd love to have conversations with you all on topics such as this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, everyone.